Can jump seaters use cell phones in the cockpit? I think you'll be surprised with the answer. Check it out. Well, what do we have here? So, a lot of noise happening here at Atlanta Hartsfield. It's raining above, so there's not that good vantage to capture landings for this area. But that's okay, because, you know, we can get up close and personal with, for instance, Boeing regional jet drivers, right? There's a lot of those here at Hartsfield. The last time I captured these was in Lihue. Remember that? 757. The best jet ever made by Boeing Company. That is what we have here. This is almost 666, but not quite. See that? 668. I could lie and say it's a DC-9. Standing here looking at the South Complex. This is runway 9er left at intersection. Mike 2 for takeoff. 9er left and Mike 2, that's what we're using. And aircraft landing on 10 and runway 9er right will taxi clear behind the departure point of this runway. So that they don't have to waste time at an intersection of the runway and hold short whilst delaying the takeoff of this aircraft that wants to leave. See? So it's a well-oiled machine at Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson is. It didn't always used to be that way. There was once upon a time where lots of planes would get stacked up holding short of the takeoff runway. They'd stack them up 5, 10, 15 aircraft at a time before they could cross. This guy's moving at a good clip. You can hear his engine spooled up. As perhaps he has to go take a shite. All right, the 75 is powering up. A321 touching down. Block again, of course. I don't think we'll get any rotations today. Unless the rain stops and I go up top, then we might be lucky. But it's coming out pretty good. All right, 2 Boeing regional jets in a row here, 717. I suspect that one might be in position a little bit longer, but they used to give 2 minutes / 5 mile distance separation, or 2 minutes as a whole distance from the preceding 757. That used to be a thing, but that has since changed. And now they'll clear you for takeoff, as this guy just did, right behind the 75. May or may not experience wake turbulence vortices, but you know what? That's a risk they're willing to take. Now, if it's very windy, which it looks like it kind of is here today, then waiting that long behind the preceding 757 might not be that much of a risk. Wow, look how fast he's going. It might not be that much of a risk because the wind will blow away and dissipate the wingtip vortices of a preceding aircraft. So that's always a good thing. Yeah, it is windy out here. I can feel it. Getting sprayed by the water. But this is the Faces of Atlanta. That's what we're shooting here today. All right, we're going to get a 7-3 coming through here. November 928 DU. We'll take the spotlight right there. Whoa. They are moving. I'll tell you what, they are hauling ass. They want to go get that gate. Delta 3040 in a Northwest Airlines A320 inbound from Little Rock, Arkansas. Ooh, that's Delta 1510 and 545 US is the tail number. Now, I know you're thinking US will be US Airways, but no. This 757 is a former US bank, was the registration on that one. And which means that was, as well, is a former Northwest Airlines jet. I want to say there's a history on this one. If it's not this one, there's one awfully close to it. But they're all the way down there on the north side of the airport. Was it the south side of the airport on runway 10. I'm sure they're happy about that. Delta 1147 from Chicago O'Hare in a D's registered. Yeah, as in D's nuts. I'm not joking, man. Aviators of Atlanta Hartsfield. Here we go. Whoa. Way out yonder is Delta 2204 inbound from Orlando, Florida. This is an OG Delta Airlines 757, November 6, 97, DL, I believe it is. No touchdown for runway 10, too far away. So let's get the face of a 737-900. Now, curiously, I've always wondered why Delta Airlines never got on the MAX 8 or MAX 9 bandwagon. Yeah, they have 10s on order, but somehow they must have seen through all of Boeing's bullshit and never bothered to order a MAX 8 or a MAX 9 jet. No. The big question there is, did they know something everyone else didn't? Or were they simply just favoring Airbus? You decide. I do not know. That's something that we'll never know. Increasing his speed. Bullying the Endeavour jet in front of it. That's not nice, Delta Airbus pilot. Be nice. Lest you forget how many airplanes you've destroyed by taxiing into them. We have 2 767s that have done that in JFK. One in Boston. One here recently. Remember that A350 that took out the Endeavour Air 302PQ, the tail number? Remember that? Both planes have since been flying again. All right, that's the Northwest Airlines Airbus A320. How about 215 from Rome? Oh, I can barely capture it. 215 from Rome, Fuchicama Airport. Pitching about with the winds, bucking the winds over there, left and right bank. Oh, Frontier takes the thunder, but you can't get a runway 10 touchdown anyway. That's just how it works at Hartsfield from this vantage point. Let's check out the faces of 929Ds. Moving at practically rotation speed now. V1, rotate, may as well. And now, ooh, the lovely jet. The perfect jet. The perfect jet that will never be again. The do anything, go anywhere, Boeing 757. So according to the feds, as long as you're not actively a crew member of that plane and you're sitting in the observer seat, they don't give a shit if you're on your cell phone or not. Can you believe that? I can. It's no big deal. Oh my lord, is she a sexy beast. Narrow body, long legs, and big jugs, the Boeing 757. And we got Frontier hot on his heels, bullying him about. Hear the brake fans in action right there. Brake fans are roaring to cool those brakes on that Airbus. Now, why does that airplane need brake fans? It's just an A320. The Boeing 75 doesn't have any brake fans. Why does that little A320 need brake fans to cool the brakes? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they haven't got a double tandem bogie like this one has, you see? So when you have a double tandem, the heat dissipation of using your brakes is very, very efficient. You spread the deceleration energy by converting that energy into heat. That's all that brakes do. Did you know that? Brakes don't stop the vehicle. No, they convert kinetic energy into heat. And so when you've got twice the distribution of energy dissipation, they tend to stay cooler. And so that's why the Airbus A320 has brake fans, because they get very, very hot when you have a single bogie landing gear system. And the Boeing 737, I don't know. They've got a single one as well, but I don't know how it works, so I can't not speculate much. But I don't think they have brake fans in the 737. Oh, I know why. In the 737, when you put the wheels up, they are exposed to the external air pressure. There's nothing closing. In other words, if you look at the bottom of a 737, right there, when those wheels go up, the wheels are exposed. They're not covered. There's no landing gear door that seals them up inside the belly of the plane. And therefore, they can naturally evaporate the heat into this airstream by Bernoulli's principle of lower versus higher air pressures. Whatever, I'm geeking out here. 935 AirTran, that's what the AT stands for, AirTran, which was an airline here in the South that used to run these Boeing 717s that are now at Delta Airlines. All right? Oh, 275s. You know, when these things were very, when they were fairly new, 757s used to go everywhere. This is another Northwest Airlines one. See that? 552 Northwest. These guys used to go across the pond. They used to go to Europe. They used to go to Asia. But now that they've got so much time on the airframe, they're only working on short cycles now. They don't really fly these things that far anymore. Let me do a case in point moment really fast. So this one, right, this is 1720 going to Tampa, Florida. So short cycle usage is what they use these 757s for now, because they don't want to prolongate the dynamic cycling of the pressure vessel anymore. Yes, you might argue, well, there's more cycles now that it goes shorter flights. That's true. But a sustained dynamic pressure is what will damage and shorten the life of what's left on these aircraft. So you have to use it for shorter flights, minimizing the time of dynamic pressure differential, and you get the most money, most bang for your buck. .75 City over here today, bro. I'll tell you what, man. This was in need of some TLC. Another perfect example of why you need brake fans on these Airbuses. This thing can land with a maximum landing weight of about 173,000 pounds, and all you have is 2 tires per side, 2 wheels per side, absorbing all of that deceleration energy into heat, converting rather. Yeah, they're gonna get fucking hot. Most modern jets do not have any sort of braking on the nose wheel. It's just simply not needed. How do they turn? Well, you see those things sticking front and back there? Those are hydraulic cylinders with pistons inside it. And when one pushes one and pulls, the nose wheel will turn. Let's see if we can see it. We won't see the internals in action. But let's watch that as the nose wheel begins to turn to the left there. can see the cylinder housings more prominent here. One pushes, one pulls. There is a camber. Yep, that's normal. There's a camber in the nose wheel when it turns. You cannot abate that. There's no way around it. And it helps dissipate front-loading energy to have a camber that way. Now let's check out this one. All right, that's who that is. But now we've got the 350 to check out, inbound from Rome. This one is not the one that took out the Endeavour jet here last year. This one's much newer. Just the other day, two Endeavour Airs collided with each other at LaGuardia Airport. And you know what? Here's a snippet of that right here, right now. Here you go. Did you like that? And what I make out of that video is both pilots must have been distracted. Not one, but both. In my opinion, that's only an opinion. Because how do you allow your two jets to collide when you're so close to each other at such high of a taxi speed? There's only one explanation. They had to have been distracted. In my opinion, guys, I'm not stating that as a fact, it's just my opinion. All right. Fly Delta big jets, my friends. Big jets. We got 7.5s for you here today. Lots of them. Certainly my favorite jet. Alright, that nose wheel is in action. Doesn't have as much camber as the Airbus did, but it's got a decent amount. Alright, I see a 320, which means if it's a 320, it's going to be Northwest. And there you have it. 334 Northwest Airlines, acquired by Delta in 2009. The plane, that is. All right, got another Airbus here. This is a 321, which will be purely a Delta purchase. One thing to keep in mind is that the airline that you're on might prohibit cell phone use in that cockpit. So you have to really be cognizant and check with the captain before using your phone in the cockpit jump seat. Excellent. All right. I've flown on these guys before. I haven't flown, I don't know if it's the actual plane I've flown on, but I've flown on this airline before. I can't remember what their call sign is. No, that's not it. And here's a plane that I have flown before. I've flown this actual jet before. Tail numbers. This is November 295 PQ. I'll put my time on it here. I've flown on both seats on that aircraft, captain and first officer. Spirit, man, I'll tell you what, going through some tough times, man. It's hard to see that happen. This plane is another plane that I've flown. I'll put my time on it right here. cannabis. Whoa, what do we got here? Delta Airlines 15. That is a former Northwest Airlines A330-200. Can't see the touchdown, but we already know it's going to be butter because why? You cannot land a 330 hard. It just doesn't happen. Hey, who do we got here? 88, 30, 85, or 86, 83 Delta. These guys never taxi anywhere at a slow rate of speed. It's always fast. Full throttle everywhere you go. Hurry up. Ooh, look at this guy coming out at a pretty decent clip here now. This is 691 Calm Air, CA, Charlie Alpha. All right? And I think this is one of the last CRJs that I ever flew. Man, my Rain Man memory, it's possibly the last one I ever flew. So I would have had only a little bit of time in this jet here because it was acquired by Endeavor Air. I'm pretty sure I did a functional check flight on it when it got there. But yeah, this might be the last one I flew. I'm not quite certain, but I will look it up. CRJ 900, one of the most fun airplanes to fly. Very hands-on, very rewarding jet. If you can fly that thing, you can fly anything, in my opinion. They're starting to cross all the runways that have been holding short for a while. These guys all landed on runway 10. And here they come to cross both of the 9s. There's a CO CFM A321 and their crew. No, he's not on the phone. He's tuning his radio management panel to the next frequency. I've got water literally dripping on me over here. Oh my, the rain and wind is certainly picking up now. But it'll be no match for this A321 CO. The Frontier at a good clip, moving fast. Here we go. Missed the 330 over there. Bastard. He cut everybody off, took a shortcut. You son of a... He cut everybody off over there. Nice play, bro. Nice play. Oh, yeah. Our favorite, isn't it? Our favorite. Then the little itty bitty regional jet, the Boeing regional jet. Here you go. Okay. What the fuck? No way, bro. Watch this. Are you serious right now? That's not even a plane length, bro. What the fuck? Why is he so... Why is this guy on his ass, bro? What the hell? Man, I tell you what, bro. That doesn't make any sense, bro. Look at that. It doesn't make any sense. Why? All right. Such a majestic looking aircraft for 330. Oh, Captain resting his arm on top of the glare shield there. Now who's managing the tiller? You don't need it in a straight line, that's my point. Oh yeah, this is Delta 721 inbound from John Wayne, SNA. It's a former TWA aircraft here, which means it spent some time at American too, most likely. Oh. Snick. There's a Copa 880 from Panama City. Those guys. Yeah, I'm sure they had some good freaking weather to battle on the way here to Atlanta today, this morning. And as I do use United Airlines to commute a lot, I'm definitely not going to say anything bad about it. No, but there really isn't much bad to say. This airline has done so great at utilizing their stuff to the maximum. They've got the oldest actually, no, 424 is the oldest one of theirs. But they've got the oldest Airbuses. They've got the oldest Boeings. 777s are the newest, are the oldest ones ever made. Pitching down, whoa. Yeah, that is hauling ass. Look at that. That's how fucking fast he's going. Jesus Christ, he's hauling ass. Yeah, he's taxiing. That's just a taxi speed, bros. Now this is a cool jet. There's got to be a history on it, and I'm going to venture to say it's not all Canadian. All right, we got Air Canada Cargo taking the runway here. Runway 9er left at Mike 2. Should we get the face of a 7.5 first? Alright, we're going to stick with the 7.6 because that's a cooler bird. Okay, so you can skip everything I said. They were taxiing from the cargo ramp, which is on the south side of the airport, and they just use that taxi way to get to the runway. This is cool, fun spotting day, man. I'm showcasing 757 today. Oh, he just shut down his engine. Very nice. He's saving fuel. I love that. I love when people do that. Now, which one might this be? Have I flown her? Yes, I have. Here's a fun fact. This has a sharklet on it, right? So does 618, but 617 NK does not have a sharklet. Go look it up. Go look it up. That's how geeky my brain is when it comes to aviation factoids that don't matter in anything. 617 does not, and 617 and lower do not have sharklets. 618 and higher have sharklets. And this is what? 619. Okay. Go look it up. Go look it up, mother effer. And you tell me if I'm telling you a lie. So although the feds don't expressly prohibit use of cell phone in the jump seat, the airline might. So don't be an ass. Check with the captain. And remember who's watching. Yes, sir. I'll tell you what, man. You want 7.5s, this is the place to come see them. I know I do. I love this jet. Hundo. Hard to see, my friends. Another Spirit jet here with a very, very, very uncertain future. With the Pratt & Whitneys, if you hear the whale song, it's not only the A220 that does it, my friends. That's a misconception. It's a 676 NKs here. It's going to Miami Airport. This one. Flight number of 2666. That's gangster, yo. I bet you anything this Airbus came in from Chicago. That's only a guess. I have no fact. 587 Northwest, a 300 model coming inbound from San Diego. Pitching down again. No bueno, no bueno. You might want to get it down, guys. You're going way too, there you go. All right, let me check that again, make sure it is correct and factual information here. Yep, Spirit Wings 2666, heading over to Miami International Airport. An 8-year-old A321ceo equipped with, well, let me have a look here. All right. International Aero Engines. So IAE V2533 engines. That's what he's got on there. And we've got another A321 coming to our right. And it's going to have a very different setup, although it is another A321ceo. And here it is right here. Not IAE. These are CFM 56 engines. Dash 5 Bravos. 185 UW. I love these engines, by the way. On this aircraft, they're very underpowered. As he comes face to face with a 75. Look at that thing. Reaching for the lights because they're cleared onto the runway. Oh, finally a big piece of metal. We've got a 767 coming for takeoff. Another increasingly rare aircraft. These are on their way out, dude. They are on their effing way out. In fact, I should really check the radar site because it might be on its way out right now. You never know. Let's have a look. Nope, it's going to Quito, Ecuador. Quito, Ecuador, I think it's one of the highest elevation airports for commercial use. Ah, they're both going at the same time. 587 Northwest. Haha, I just completely swallowed that 767 whole. All right. Let's see how the little CRJ 700 does from Chattanooga. Ooh, that's a bit touchy on the front side. Delta 109 will come into the frame there. 109 inbound from Madrid in November 822 Northwest Airlines. A330 300. Alright, so like I was alluding to earlier about the pressure cycles, short flight cycles that they use for this. This one's just inbound from Raleigh-Durham. A very short flight from Atlanta. Whereas a plane like this used to fly from here to the fucking Azores. Or from here to Cali, Colombia, you know? Now they just do it in Raleigh-Durham turns. And United Airlines does the same thing. Whoa, this guy's moving. Look at that speed on that. United Airlines does the exact same thing with their 777-200s that are not the extended range version. They use them domestically, short haul. Fucking hell is he moving. Blast from the past. 953 Alpha Tango. I believe the one that had a gear up incident in Charlotte was 955 Alpha Tango. I could be wrong. Something that's going to be worth looking up. '67-16 Charlie. 25-year-old, 24-year-old, I think. I don't remember. My God, this is 303 PQ, one away from 302 PQ that got taken out by Delta, the tail taken out by Delta here last year. Remember that? Or was it this year? 302, that's 303. What's this one then? Comair 700, okay. I believe I've taken this aircraft up to flight level 40,000 or 400. No, it's not this one. That will be my finale face shot if they come this direction here. That is November 8, 22 Northwest. I can't remember where they came in from. I said it earlier. Oh, was it Madrid? This airplane used to park at gate B42 in Memphis, Tennessee, when Northwest used to do daily service from Memphis to Amsterdam Schiphol. Nowadays, it's a very foregone and even lunatic idea to think of a flight going to Amsterdam from Memphis, Tennessee. What the heck are you talking about? But that was a daily service back a couple decades back. All through the early and mid 2000s, that was a daily service in that plane there. Here's a plane I have not seen before. Let it enter the frame here while I look it up on the radar sites. And it's pulling up goose eggs. This is not showing up as anything on Flight Radar 24. So this is going to be a... Whoa! It got my attention due to the high deck angle that had. Can't wait to get more information on this airplane. You might remember back a few years back from Bagram Air Base, where a national cargo 747 hung on its prop and fell out of the sky, killing everyone on board and caught on a dash cam. Remember that one? What a sad day that was for that airline there. Now we can see the tail number. Where might this plane go? I might have to keep a track on it, because it's coming up with absolutely nothing. So let me go ahead and do that now. Put a track on it. Because this is a ghost plane in all respects, according to the radar sites. You want to know what my guess is? I bet you any fucking money it's taking migrants to some foreign country. I bet you that's exactly what that's doing right there. That's my guess, guys. As sad as it may be, this is just a national airlines cargo company, charter company. And I'm guessing it's invisible because it's probably taking migrants to God only knows where. Get out of the way, Delta. Look at the camber again. Alright, why isn't he going? I know why. There it goes. If this guy turns on the taxiway mic, it's not the wrong turn like I thought it would have been on the last one. If he turns on taxiway mic, he's just gonna queue up, and his slats are down there, see? So this aircraft is going for takeoff, and he's turning on mic. So there's my answer, I should say, not your answer, my answer. Holy shit, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Oh my God, okay, this is gonna be the last one. I gotta go. I just ordered a bunch of shit on Amazon too. $233. All right, so that's the nose number. Let me see what the actual tail number is. Oh, I can't do it because my tracking site is locked on that 330. No matter. There's other ones. This is a former of. I hear another 75 coming. Yes, it is. Slats are down. This guy's ready to roll. This is the one I saw that had the brake fans on earlier. I gotta go. This is bullshit. I gotta go. Jesus, one more. Okay, fine. Very nice. That's perfect for finale shot on 556 Northwest Airlines. Thank you, Captain. That's a wrap. Peace.